All right, another day in the stock market. It is Thursday, June 18th. And we had another wild ride. Some stocks that moved a few days ago have moved again. And the key on that, when stocks move and they, whatever, 200%, 300%, then they fall back. This is an example. They'll come here, and then the next few days they'll bounce up. So we had ALPN, 130% pop, UONE, former runner, AMCIW, I think it's warrants, CHCI, AEMD, UONEK, Neon, DYMT, FAMI, all 50% movers, CARV, NES. So let's take a look. ALPN, pre-market, always look pre-market, see if there's legit news. This had says anticipate having enough cash to fund planned operations in 2023. That's good news. It also announced option license agreement for development and commercialization of ALPN 101. So it had legit news. It's a low float. I have 5 million here on Trade Ideas, and this really took off pre-market, but it didn't hold. This is the 1 minute chart. See this one came back and really double topped right here at 1688. You go to the 5 minute. This was all just a big move pre-market, very fast move. This is not good to trade here. Maybe if you get in right here, real fast, quick scalp. Otherwise, it just faded. Look at this. Then it was a short. Look at all these red candles. And then after this, you can get in long. If it just washes, there will be a bounce most of the time. It is found support rate about 895, about 871, then bounced up. Look at this. There's a nice bounce to about 1430, and then came back again with a lower, higher low right here. So this was more of a bounce play, I would call. It was a short early, and then we had a bounce, and then pretty much a fade. So that was a big gainer. That was at least over 130%. And then we have UONE. Here's UONE, the former runner. Now this is why I say former runner. Look at this. This stock has done nothing forever and ever. And then you had first candle after who knows how long, a year, whatever it is. And then you had volume 18.6 million. This is a sign that something's up with this stock. That is going to be the signal for you to keep this on radar. And then the next day had a huge pop, all the way to 40. And then what do we have here? The next day, this is why this is an inside day, it's called, inside of a big day. Because look at the volume here. The volume on this day was only 7.5 million. Look at these candles, and it bounced back today. And then right here was the 13 EMA bounce. Now, sometimes they won't directly hit the 13 or 20 EMA and bounce up. They'll come a little short, or sometimes they'll even go a little bit below and then bounce. So this had a huge bounce, and this was a strong move today. And was there legitimate news today on this, or continue? Let me look here. Samaritan House and Catholic Charities merging with Urban Mission Ministries. Downtown West Apartment Project, construction, Black History 365 partnership with Urban One. See, this all has to do with the Fed saying they're going to help out Black-owned businesses from the riots and everything, from the coronavirus crushing businesses. So a lot of these stocks are moving in that category. Anything that has that is saying it's going to help African-American businesses is that's why these stocks are moving to. So this was very low float too. And the 5 minute you had here, this was the yesterday, and then it dropped off. So this was yesterday's high. And this came barreling down here. Look at this, way down here, and it found support at 10. And this was nice, right off this double bottom right here. See this? This one as low as 1013. Then 1016. That is almost a classic double bottom. Touch, touch, take off. So that's what a double bottom is. When you have a bottom, then a retest that doesn't go through, that's support. And this was a great long here. Look at this at 12. And what do I always say? 13 over 20 EMA. That's what I go by. That's part of my trading. It's not the end all be all, but it works a lot of the times. It's been back tested. It's proven when you have this 13 over 20 EMA, it's not going to be a sell unless you have a complete cutoff or it just goes down. So you had in here at 12, you had 14, you had 18, and this kept running all the way to about 28, and it came down. Consolidation, see, but lower volume too. Don't get scared. When you see lower volume and it's coming down, it's not going to just go down unless the volume is extremely high. Then we had a breakup of 24, then almost 34, highs 34, 35.50, then 34.95. Then this came back a little bit, but the whole day it's been putting in higher lows. So the low, 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 and you get the 10-minute. The 10-minute right here. And again, that's why you use, if you're going to use a time frame, longer time frame, you use 5, 10, 15, maybe 30-minute. Because the 5-minute would have stopped you out on this. Look at the 5-minute. You're like, right here. Oh, it's going to go through. It went through the 1320 EMA. Then you get the 10-minute. And look at this support right here at 20.56. So basically held this $20. That's a key number to $20, whole number. But look in the 10-minute, this whole time, that 13's over to 20. It was never a sell. Maybe right here late, you want to get out. And, you know, stock market's closing. You didn't know what's going to do after hours. And then you get the 15-minute. And 15 is even better. Look at this. Held 13. The 13's way over to 20 EMA. This was a long the whole day. There was no shorts. I mean, the only shorts is if you're playing it extremely fast on these time frames, you know, 28 to 20. If you're playing it at 1, 2, 3 minute, it depends what level you're playing it at. So, but the longer term chart on this today, intraday, was all long. It's been all long. So this is an incredible move. Who knows what tomorrow brings? Right now, we're up here. And then on the monthly, this is at all-time high. We're almost at all-time high. It's battling again that 30 zone. So it's very liquid, great volume. Anything can happen with this. AEMD. This is another 2-candle pop, pre-market, and fade it. And then bounce over 250, 325. Small gainer. Not like a huge run, but definitely you could have played that to the long side. AMCIW, this is warrants. I don't mess with warrants. Neon. Neon was nice right over 6. And then 633. And then another high here, 825. This was a nice all-day runner on Neon. And the daily chart is very strong here. When you have this move from April, and then all the way up here to 4, and then it kept putting higher lows. And stochastics is moving up. The divergence is higher right here. FAMI, this was a pre-market pop. This was very early. This was 6 a.m. pretty much. And then it rode quickly up to 175 plus and faded. This wasn't a good trade at the open, just faded pretty much. This was all pre-market. Carve, the former runner. This had the gap and go, and it stayed up well today. Actually turned green. And this had a move right here. Found support pretty much about 7. And look at this triangle right here. This is a classic triangle, descending. Up, lower, 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 and then popped. And then this got as high as 1271. These moves out at the open are kind of like sketchy moves, at least on the 5-minute. This is putting in big candles and fading and coming up. Not a steady chart, like a nice dip and up. This is a tougher chart to read. HUSN, Hudson Capital. This is pretty much a head and shoulders, head, either shoulder, shoulder, and then fade it down. BIOC. This is pretty much a junk stock. We can see these spikes all over the place. Put in a nice move today, though. It was a good long, right over 75 cents. Right here, 75. Then you had $1. Could test this soon. SXTC. This is China Pharmaceuticals. So anything China is kind of sketchy, but did have a pop today, 65 cents. This could roll to $1 plus. AESC, Allied Esports Entertainment. This is on the pre-market pop. This wasn't bad. Some pre-market, you don't get as much volume, but as long as you have 13 over 20 EMA, it was a nice move. And this was, if you had in maybe 250, 275, ran to 375. That's a dollar move. That's not bad. ISEE. This is right from the pre-market. You have a crossover 13 over 20. And this took off all the way to 550, then 6, and then 650. This was a great long. And on the daily chart, look at this. You have a big open gap to 30. This thing washed all the way down to $1 double bottomed. Then it came up in November to 9 and faded all the way back to 3. And here we are again trying to pop up again. So this is a lot of potential. Is that open gap? It was put down so hard, and then it's going to bounce here. As long as it has keeps getting volume or any type of news, it's potential. OVID. This was clean over 6. Look at this. And then this ran over 13 over 20 May. Look at that, beautiful. All the way out. That was a great long on OVID. NVFY, this was a short. Spiked up here, and then see, anytime in the pre-market, it'll give you clues what it's going to do. It doesn't work all the time, but when you saw the spike up, what's it going to do? Is it going to come back down and come back up here at the open? This faded right from pre-market. See this? It just faded and nothing happened with it. It just wasn't a good long. PETZ, this is a classic double top right here. Right at 265, came back down again. Then it got 260. So there it is right there, and then fade. NETE, this was a former runner. Right here on the 15th. Came back down. It held about 625, green candle, red candle. Very low volume now, though. So it doesn't have the volume, but it did pick up after hours, so something might be up with this stock. Verifone. Look at this daily chart. This came out of a tight wedge here, falling wedge. Look how it broke up here. 13 over 20 EMA. Look how strong that is. There's no sell long here. All these candles, these red candles, are meaningless unless this goes through and it crosses over. But it never happened. There have to be a quick crossover. So this is extremely strong. And this was right over, 1450 all the way to 1650 plus. Extremely good. GSAT was a total pump right there real fast and faded. This is what you don't want to trade. See this wick and then come back? Depending on how the chart forms, and if you're in down here, it's easy. You got to be in very fast though, because this move, this is a very quick move. It's like 5-10 minutes. AVXL, Rexon, that's a fade. What else do we got here? That's pretty much it. So today, the leaders, you had a combination of different leaders. You had the companies that have black-owned businesses from the Fed. Like they're backing any type of businesses that have to do with African Americans who own businesses that have struggled for the coronavirus, the riots. So that's been a theme lately. I'd say the past week now. You also had mixed in with that some bio, some corona, some different biotech news that was strong. The overall market from the SPY finished a very choppy day. 39 minus 39. S&P up $1.85. Nasdaq plus 32.52. Small cap minus $2.66. VIX was 32.34, and that really just hovered. You had oil Gold 1729, oil 39.06. So that came up a little bit. Right now, the futures are up 66. Dow Jones 650, S&P, Nasdaq 15, small caps 575, and VIX is 33.42. So let's take a look at the SPY here and see where we stand. We have the line right here. This is your lower high, and then again and again right here. Then we fade it down, found new support now. We have a new trend line. And right here, we also have a line here. If you draw a line right here, that's a trend line. It's trying to get over this line. It's putting in lower highs though. So we're not moving above. Where are we at now? 3. And we're sort of getting above it now after hours. So we're turning positive here. So this could come up and retest this, which I think it will do. This is definitely could be a little flag here. Could be the bullish flag continuation. I think we will test this again. Maybe we can go above it and come back down again, retest trend line. Stochastics are above right here. They're trying to turn, it looks like, but it's not exact. This didn't reach full to 20. Excuse me. To 20 on stochastics, so this could come up and retest that because it didn't do the full cycle, but it still looks bullish. So it could just come straight up from here. So we'll see what happens here in the SPY. It's looking good right now. TNA. TNA small caps. This is another one. Look at this line right here from that last high. It keeps going lower. See that lower, lower, lower high. It's not dropping severely, but it's just each day it's putting in lower. So this is trying to bend and cross over red, which is bearish. I think we're going to bounce here, though. We already touched below. Unless we double bottom here. I don't think we're going to do that. On the 5 minute. 5 minutes trying to get over this line. It's choppy action today. So we'll see if we can get over and fill this gap at 30. I still like that. We're like cutting this down. I don't think we're going to reach this downtrend line right here. Unless the news is bad. It'll be a higher low right here. So it's still bullish. Nail. Nail had this little fade. We might bounce from here. This looks like this little like 2-day fade, and then we bounce up. Stochastics are completely sideways. It's still bullish. We'll see what happens with that. Today was pretty much bearish all day, though. Didn't provide much for the bulls. See what happens then. This is another ETF on the daily. This has really come off hard from 64.33 to a low of 43. That's almost $20. This is way buried over here. Look at this. 12.72. Extremely oversold. I think we get a bounce in this. Even if it would go lower, I would say not much lower than 42. DFEN. This is not very oversold here. Watch if this gets over 15 again. Sideways. Any news with the bulls, anything strong will rally the market again, and we'll probably retest these highs. We'll see if we go over or come to it and stop. IWM 2000 small caps. So this is the same pattern here, sort of like trying to bend here, which isn't that positive, but it's been slanting down, down. Low as I see this, maybe 135. Let's see that. Yeah, 135 about, but I don't think we're going to go that low. Let's see what happens there. Dow Jones. It's back in this triangle now, or not triangle, the rising wedge. And we'll see what this does, if this wants to fade a little more and then bounce. NASDAQ. NASDAQ is wants to test that high again. We put in these candles here are extremely low when it fell off a little bit. Then we have 10,000 up here. NASDAQ 10,000 would be again, testing that all-time high. So we had that. What was the VIX here? Here's the VIX on the daily. It's put in 1, 2, 3, 5 candles. You have 5 red candles here. And you have 32 right here. I said the 13 and 20 EMA. But it looks like it wants to cross bullish. It's like it wants to do one of these curves. On the weekly they have crossed over. Look at that. Oversold, which is not good. Because it's already oversold. If it crossed over, it's trying to come up. What did he give for the market? 4 hour. Okay, this looks like a classic flag here. It's going to come back up. We'll see if that happens. UVXY. Same type of pattern here. This has been fading, but hasn't gone down that strong. So from 45, it has come down to 36, but not real fast. So that's UVXY. So the markets are still kind of choppy. Right now, after hours are bullish. We'll see what happens here. The market's up very high. There's been bad news, some good news, but nothing's really driving the market. We're sort of, after this gap down, this big gap, we found support. We're just sort of hovering here. Bulls and bears haven't made their minds up who wants to take the lead here. So we'll see what happens. So looks oil stocks. What do we have here? Oxy. Oxy has turned bullish here. We do have bullish divergence. Look at this here. See this? Higher, higher, higher each time. So this found support, new base. Looks like we might come up here to test that 24 again. OKE. It's another one, found support. We'll see if this comes up. It's positive. Some financials. They're forming a symmetrical triangle here and then here. And then we'll see who takes the lead here if this goes back up. Cruise lines. Just found that big move up, then support, then a small move up. Now we're just sort of caught in between sort of this triangle. So either the bulls or bears are going to win. It's going to come up and break out or break down. Right now, this is too tough to tell in the cruises what will happen. JetBlue. There's the big move. Wash down, then back up. Then it's trying to hug this 20 EMA. We'll see what happens here. That needs to hold, or else we go lower here. So watch that. This is Hawaiian Holdings Airlines. Another one had the strong move up, and we came back down, found support about 15, and then we went up to 18 almost, and back down to 16. So we're sort of caught in between here. The bulls and bears have to decide what the next move is. Is going to go back up, and this test 18, then sort of come up this way again, or is this going to come down here and test that trend line, which would be pretty low, would be about 1250. So there's no decision right now. It's up in the air between the bulls and the bears. So that's it. Please subscribe to the channel, and we will be back tomorrow with another video. Peace for now. See ya.